Hello everybody. I'm going to try to fight the weather here. Hopefully the rain's not too loud in the barn to hear me. We've got a couple requests over the years I never got around to getting to, which was my portable folding forge and its operation. Originally I made it for Viking shows, but it's not very period appropriate. So this one I now take to different Renaissance fairs, fantasy type events. Anything later than about 1400, which is when the Great Bellows first started being documented. And that's a double chambered bellows instead of having two to keep a constant flow of air pressure. It's built into one. It's your more modern bellows that way. Anyway, the basic setup, since I'm kind of out in the rain here, I didn't video the setup. It's basically just a scissor folding action. If I can still find the old SketchUp file for it, maybe I can post a link to that somewhere. But I just designed everything to fold down to maybe this tall. And the legs just kind of scissor up and lock in place with pins. Other than that, I've got pins that come through the sides that go into the center board of the bellows itself, allowing the top to open and the bottom to flow. I have a pin on top holding my tweer pipe into the nozzle. The pump, just two-part, real basic, simple design. I can overfill, where I'm just forcing air directly out, not letting the bellows work on their own. Most of the time, if I'm working, that's what I do, because I want that real strong force. I'll go ahead and bring the camera around and show you what I've got going on here. I think I built this forge in 2013. Since then, after the last few years, this season I've replaced a couple of these interior boards. They were starting to separate just from the old square nails I'd put on them, starting to pop loose. I did get a little burning on the outside where I had some of my embers get too close, so that's all redone now. I did put a small metal liner in while the sand does most of the job of insulating, keeping everything from catch fire. This keeps any of the stuff that gets pushed to the side from slowly lighting my forge itself on fire. That's just a little precaution. It's not really necessary. The first design I had, the brace here for the nozzle was a little too low, and I had my fire only about an inch off the board underneath. But now everything's raised up a little better, lined up. Sadly, this is just an old patio paver, concrete, a couple bucks from Lowe's. That's all I could have right now. I'm still looking for a nice piece of soapstone to use and put a nice carving on, but that's just been kind of laziness on my part. Anyway, that's the basic design. I think the original was one big open trough, but I didn't need all that wasted space and extra sand and weight. So usually I'll keep tools over on one side and more fuel on the other, but I just kind of started clearing this one out after getting back from the show, so I've got just kind of junk everywhere. The sides, these are just simple little twist pins that can slide out, and that's what holds the bellows into place. And just the little hook here keeps it from working its way out as I pump. There's a little pin in here that locks in. I'm not sure I'm going to get a picture of that, but anyway, there's a little pin that keeps everything from coming apart. And then just scissors down. Little pins to keep the little axle there in place. I do put one or two strings on because it can get a little rocking action going. This is a few years old now, and I don't like it rocking back and forth while it works, so usually one or two of those. Just a simple little pin in the back here. I need to get some of these redone with better pins in the leather. But it's still holding together for now. It's doing pretty good. It's been pretty beat on and roughed up over the years. Anyway, that's the basic design of the forge. I'm gonna go ahead and get set back up on the tripod here, and I'll move her around and see if I can get a fire lit up for you guys. All right, got a better position for you so you can see here. It's just sand. It's about 2.5 inches deep, 2 inches deep. I'll try to keep it up behind the tweer bit. Sometimes you kind of want to have this covered and keep some protection on it, but I've been burning this thing for a couple years, maybe 15, 16 shows worth of all day, 8 hours forging on it. And, it's taking a little scalding, but it's doing pretty good. And it's just one simple little piece of pipe I've beat in there. And It's connected at the back with one little pin holding it in place. To start, I usually try to have some sawdust or some shavings from my my planer, and then any of my shavings or cutoffs from doing draw knife work or making handles or anything like that. And I'm kind of going to overdo it because I'm not sure how much moisture I've got in the sand and how much I've got in my old half-burnt stock here. But nothing special. Made a little pit, and now I'll just kind of form up around it with some of my used pre-coked up fuel from the last show. Seems pretty dry, so it should be pretty good here. You do want to kind of keep it forward. Sometimes I'll start back too far and then I'll end up losing too much of my airflow and not getting enough of my fuel, so I don't get started quite as quick as I'd like to. Hopefully this will start right away. We'll see. Sometimes I get lucky, sometimes I don't. I'll put a little fresh fuel in there too. Let's see if I can get a good light down in there. The wind's kicking up pretty good. See, we've got a little bit of rain moving in. Hoping it'll hold off a little bit. I'll let this start and try to get it to take a little bit before I go all crazy on the airflow. I really want to get those wood chips going more than I do just the shavings. I'll go ahead and backfill a little bit here. A nice little tunnel built oven for where I want that fire to be going. I'm not even filling up that upper chamber of the bellows right now. I'm just slowly pushing the air through. All the white smoke is the wood smoke. I'll start increasing my force here when I know the wood's caught. Getting some good yellow smoke where that coal's starting. Looks like I got enough good heat. All right, now I've got the chambers filled up all the way and I can start using full force on the bellow. The smoke will clear here after a second and I can start tending the fire a bit. It's always easier to start with some used fuel from the last time. I always try to hang on to that. Don't ever dump everything out. Need to run over real quick and grab my my coal rake. Be right back. Alright, got my little rake here, and what I'll try to do is come right behind my tweer and make sure that airflow's good. I'm not hearing a whole lot of burning going on there, so I want to make sure that airway is clear into that fire. You want that good roar when you pump real hard. What I'll do is once I get a nice good burn, which is it's going pretty good, I'll scoot the entire piece back up over top. Like that. Again, try to keep that path of the air clear. I want to make sure everything's good and caught. Open it up a bit. Get all this heavy flame from all that fresh coal and all the junk in there. You're doing good. You're doing good. Got a nice heart with the fire going on. I'll go ahead and grab a quick piece of 1/2-inch stock and see what we can do. I don't have the anvil set up. I'm going to burn a new ring around my anvil stump because it's starting to split out on me, so I'm not going to actually work any steel off of this, but I'll try to give an example of how quickly it can heat up. Alright, I got a couple pieces here. Here's a piece of 1/2-inch square, cold. I'll put this right down in there in the heart of my fire. I'm going to re-inflate the bellows as I go here. I'm going to make sure I maintain good position. And try to keep a window so I can see the piece. That way I can keep an eye on when it's actually getting hot. So this is going from ambient temperature up to working heat. I don't have a whole lot of fuel on there right now, so I may toss a couple more pieces in. I use wood charcoal in here if I'm doing a historical event. More appropriate fuel, but this is just mineral coal. As long as I can maintain that good roar every time I pump, I'm feeling good that I've got a nice heat. I got a good white glow in my center. I can see down through there. I know it's hard on my camera to see any of this until I get an infrared filter on there. Everything just kind of glow purple. We got a good decent heat there, probably a good high 1800. Didn't take very long. We can keep working it. Of course, the more I pump, the hotter we'll get, the more vigorous I am with it. And I got a response or a reply on YouTube that I've kind of roughly translated on Google to mean that the guy thought I didn't have enough either air pressure or enough pipes. I'm not quite sure what he was asking. Joking about, but no, this isn't a joke setup. This works. I forge on it at my shows. You know, I'm starting to burn there a little bit, but this works for me, and I can work it all day without a whole lot of effort, especially when I can maintain a nice fire like this. And sometimes it's hard to do because I'll end up talking to a crowd of people that's hanging out, and it's a lot of fun. That's why I like doing stuff like this. Letting people know what you can do it with. My other setup is basically a hole in the ground, and that's all it takes. Not everything needs to be super technical. Anyway, it's that. Sometimes I'll just sit stuff down in the sand if I don't have a spot to lay it real quick. And that's a 3/8 piece cold. Go ahead and move the camera back real quick. You can see that I'm not putting a whole lot of effort into pumping these bellows. It works pretty efficiently. So they don't stay primed very long because it's not a whole lot of space. The cubic feet in here isn't very high. But I can do a nice slow draw once it's full and just work basically straight out of that bottom section of the bellows. That bottom flap is what I'll feed with. And the top just gives that extra bit of maintaining wind and constant positive pressure to keep any backdraft from coming into the bellows itself. Doesn't take long. Things get real hot real quick. Anyway, that's all. It's easy enough to work, and it's pretty quick. Anybody has any questions about this or anything else I've got, just shoot me a message and I'll try to get back to you as quick as I can. If I have a nicer day with less rain, I'll set up the other Viking setup with the 2-handled pump bellows and go from there. I know I need to make some that are in the carvings and the wood carvings and stone carvings, the pie wedge shaped pumps. I just made these other ones because I like the round shape a little better there too. But again, this one, great bellows, you're looking at 1400s up for this technology. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully I get some more videos soon.